Okay, so I'm going to try to do this over the sound of the raging river. It just rained last night, and let's see if you can see it. Yeah. So, let's see, like what I've been thinking about is the kind of a continuation off of the one about projection a few days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. And how that ties into, I don't know, like a continuation of that into, let me start with a story. Okay, so I was on my way here and I was like doing a swift walk. You know, my first part of my morning routine is to, you know, just walk swiftly while taking 4 breaths in and 4 breaths out and just clearing my head. And I'm walking along and I go to walk in front of an apartment complex where the road dumps into the main road that I'm walking along. So I'm cutting off a car that's about to try to pull out. And I'm walking, so it takes a little bit longer than you know it would if I were running in front of the car. And I started feeling self-conscious. You know, I started feeling like, oh my gosh, like what is this person thinking of me? Like, and I started playing out this scenario in my head automatically, like without thinking of it, of this person, you know, cussing at me and like, God, hurry the F up, dude. Like, you're walking, come on. Right? And then I caught myself doing that and realizing that I was projecting onto this person. I didn't even see the person's face. I just saw that there was a car that I was cutting off by walking right in front of it. And I was basically doing the same thing in my head as I would have done probably if I were in the car. And I've been practicing not doing that when I'm in the car, of like, you know, road rage, and like, you know, I would much rather allow people to get in front of me if they need to get in front of me, or like pedestrians to walk in front of me, you know, like just not only allowing it to happen, but really like, no, please, my pleasure, like, please go in front of me. So it was interesting to notice in that moment that I assumed that that other driver was cussing me out and judging me. And what I'm realizing, and this being like the continuation of that whole projection piece, is that the whole phrase, what goes around comes around, as much as it's a phrase in a spiritual sense, like in an energetic sense, like what energy we put out into the world, that energy comes back to us. And I believe that. A part of me believes that. And then there's this other part of me, mostly in here, my rational mind, that is like, that doesn't, what? No, we need like a more psychological, more of a psychological explanation for this. And this is it. Projection can actually start explaining, as far as I'm seeing it, how what goes around really does come around. Because in that one scenario, and there are tons of scenarios like that during the day, during the course of our regular day, where I could project my own view of how I see the world, or how I interact with my world. I could project that onto everyone else around me. So that becomes my world. So if I am 100%, whenever I'm in the car, just 100%, like letting people go in front of me and just enjoying people walking in front of my car, you know, to really like push it to an extreme. Like really just enjoying everything, like just the fact that I'm driving, like, oh yeah, cool, totally go in front of me. If I have that way of being 100% of the time, I'm much more likely to believe that everyone else who's driving a car is like that. I mean, except for when they roll down their window and literally start cussing at me or something. But you get the idea. Like, if I live my life with integrity and love and acceptance and all of those really awesome qualities, then that's how I start to see my world. And I assume that everyone has their best intentions if I have my best intentions. So really, what goes around does come around in a psychological sense too. Like, that's how we see our world. That's all I got. I wanted to get that down on video. And wow, 1 week left until the Herpes Opportunity seminar. Wow. Feeling like nervous and excited and just really looking forward to it. And then let's see. I try to tie in what I just said into kind of the whole herpes thing. And what goes around comes around in that way too. Like, if I were judging myself with herpes, if I judge that I'm disgusting, I'm dirty, who would ever want me, and I'm telling that to myself over and over again, then this also ties into the whole self-fulfilling prophecy thing. Like, if I'm really seeing that with myself and I'm treating myself like that, then I'm going to project that onto everyone else. Friends, family, potential lovers, all of that. So what goes around comes around, especially when I treat myself with compassion and I treat myself with self-acceptance. And I'm like, yeah, I have herpes. And yeah, sometimes some people have a stigma about it. Like, they feed into the stigma. And that's unfortunate, because really, to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a skin condition. So I can treat myself with that kind of compassion, and in that same vein, have that same compassion for even the people who judge the shit out of me for being some dirty freak, right? I can be like, oh wow, yeah, I used to think that way. I know what that's like. Whether I say it to them or not, if I say it in my own head. And that's the way that I see my world of, you know what? This is what herpes means. Not much. Then that starts to really like come back at me in how I see other people seeing me. If I see myself in a good way, in a self-accepting way, then even as I walk down the street and I catch eyes with people, I'm much more likely to assume that they're seeing me that way too, because of how I see myself. The world really is a reflection of how we see ourselves. Not just in some, spiritual, energetic way, but also in a psychological way, like how we process things in our head and how we treat ourselves, kinds of words we use, all of that stuff. Building more and more awareness around this can do nothing but help with the self-acceptance and self-love. So that's what I got for now. Enjoy your day.